Hello and thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how to propagate strawberries through their runners. I went on another impulse buy at our Walmart. They had a variety of strawberry I've been looking for called Eversweet. So this is what's in this pot. There's actually 2 plants in here. We were going to do a different video, but this plant decided to surprise me with putting out a runner. So today we're going to show you how I root runners in this, and I'll show you what I do with my albions that are out in the front yard. And you can see that the process works quite well. So what you're going to need for this is I've got a small pot, and I usually like to select a pot that's around the same height as the strawberry plant I'm working with. Makes it easier to set the runners into it. I've got it filled with my cactus soil mix, which is 2/3 cactus mix, 1/3 peat moss. And this has been soaked down, so it's nice and wet. And then in this other pot right here, I have some shavings to use as a mulch. So these are just pine shavings, and we'll put a very light layer on there just to help keep the moisture in on the soil. And then the star of the show, no, not me. This nice little 14 gauge, about 5 to 6 inch long piece of galvanized wire. You can also use a paper clip for this. And what this clip is for is to pin the strawberry runner down onto the soil so it doesn't move around while you're waiting for it to root. To get started, what you're looking at doing is you want to take a look at your runner, see how long it is, and you want to get it near to your strawberry plant. If you can put it far away, because it has this nice long stem on it here, you can just take that and you want to take a look at where it's going to be in the pot. See how it's going to set. Here I have a yucky leaf, so what we're going to do real quick is I'm just going to twist that off the bottom there. And this is now ready. And the way that it's situated, you can see the crown here, you can see where the roots want to develop here on the bottom, and you can see how the runners come into it. So we're going to be putting our little pin in right around the deal right here, right around the crown, and it'll pin it into the soil. So like I said earlier, you'll have like a 14 gauge galvanized wire or a paper clip, 5 to 6, maybe 7 inches long. You want it long so it provides enough force to keep the runner in the soil. And then what you want to do is you can grab it in between your fingers, roughly about halfway. Take your other hand and just pull like this, and you will bend. And you can see mine's not perfect. You can bend yourself a little staple like this for holding the runner into the ground. And as you can tell, mine's not perfect, but we're going with it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this. We're going to get this runner pretty well going here. So we're going to kind of make sure it's up and down. Make sure we don't pinch any leaves in here with the clip. And then just push this clip down so it's just putting a light amount of pressure on the runner. So as you can see, I can move the pot now, and it doesn't disturb it too much. And the runner will notice the wet soil down there and root it. And then what we want to do is we want to take just a little bit of light mulch. And we don't have to go right up against the runner. We can stay away from it a little bit and just get some of the mulch just around the outside. And then once it's around the outside here, now the nice thing about Eversweet is this variety has been bred to take the heat that we have where I live. But that doesn't mean these plants aren't invincible. Now that I've done a runner like this, I'll probably put this into my shade house and keep this in the shade till it establishes. Once it's established, then we can start working on moving it out in the sun and letting the new plant get established into the pot and transplant it into a bigger pot. These pots are too small for these berries, so this is just a step in their journey. And you can see here we've got this all mulched up. Now you can see a close-up of the runner. I'll pull back. It might be hard to see the clip down in there. You can see I haven't really pushed the mulch really heavy up against it. It's kind of fallen over from the sides. And, you know, that's what it's done from it. You know, the mulch is kind of fallen in there. It'll help keep the soil moist so the runner can root. And now what I'll do is I'll walk you through up front with my Albion strawberries, because one of them decided to put out a whole bunch of runners, and I'll show you how those are rooted. Well, okay, they're not rooted yet, but they are pinned into their pots. You'll notice on them I don't have them mulched yet. It's part of my experimentation. You do want to keep these watered every day to keep the top of the soil moist. And I've had to do that with the ones that are not mulched. I will be mulching the ones up front, and we'll see how they go from there. But let's take a look at my front strawberries. I wanted to show you another example of how I propagate my runners on my strawberries. What you're seeing here are my Albion strawberries. They're at varying degrees of getting transplanted here and getting established in these pots. And you can see here, this Albion is really far ahead of the other ones. And as you can tell, it has runners. And you can see here, I essentially just take small pots and I get the runner going. And I have my little metal clip in here that I showed you earlier. And we just keep putting them in the containers. And you can see we have them pinned here. And this one's a young one here. You'll notice that the runner here in this particular container is already shooting off for the next plant. So I'll get another small pot. I'll get it out here and I'll take one of my little pins and put it in there. But that's just another great example of how I propagate out my runners. This Albion strawberry, you can see right here, it's got a runner coming off. It's not as well established as the other one, so I am probably going to cut that runner off and just let this one berry plant here that's doing really well, I'll let it propagate out me a whole bunch more plants. Or these other three I'll get up into production. And now we're back at the Eversweet strawberry here that I showed you how I transplanted. I want to keep this a short video. There really isn't much to this. I don't have 10 million of them to do to have you hang out and watch me root runners. This is everything. Real simple process. They root very easily, and this will send out a runner. You know, I want to thank you for stopping by. If you feel so inclined, visit my Etsy store. Maybe there'll be something there. We're adding new products all the time. If you want to support the channel, hit the like button. That'll help out. Not cost you any money, and it's just a click of that like button. If you want to see more of my videos, you know, hit that subscribe button. That would be even better. I have affiliate links down in the description. You'll see I've got links to tools that I like to use from Amazon. You want to stop by there? Great. You don't have to buy anything on the list. Just click that affiliate link, do your Amazon shopping, get whatever you want, and that'll support me as well. And you know, if I've done what I'm supposed to be doing, my head is most likely plastered over with the next video that YouTube thinks you should be watching. I want to thank you for joining me. Take care.